episode 34.
This is a PI Advice Podcast.
Yeah, boy.
What's going on, everybody? This is Tech News Tuesday for the Private Investigator. Today's date is January 15th, 2014. Just in case you're listening to this in the future. Welcome. This is the inaugural episode. We're in podcast 34, but Tech News Tuesday for Private Investigators, this is number 1. So welcome. I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to have fun with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these awesome things that are happening in technology, and I'm going to wrap them in a nice little package, and I'm going to relate it to private investigations. And so, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So thank you for joining us. So I listen to a lot of tech stuff. I actually just enjoy listening to, well, not everything, but a lot of stuff. I like to be in the know. I like to know what's going on. And so, yeah, one of the things that's actually been out for a while, I think it's been out for like a year, but because I don't have cable and I usually get my information from the internet and some specialty things that I look at, I just came across this. So you might have already come across this, but it's called the Litro camera. And it's this neat camera, which you'll see up here on the little square here. It's this kind of like a, do you remember when back in the day when you used to go to like Disneyland, or you go to some amusement park, or maybe even the zoo, and there'd be a photographer in front, and they take a picture of you, and then later in the day you go back, and they would sell you like frames, and there'd be this little viewfinder thing where you look in, and if you look into the light, you could see your picture in this little box. Well, that's what it kind of reminds me of, but it's a little bit bigger. So this Litro camera uses some technology, which is called, oh boy, what did they call it? They call it light field technology. Basically, it's super duper fancy where you can literally look on the screen and focus in areas that you want to focus on before you take a picture or after you take a picture. So you might blur out someone's face and focus in on the background of the picture, or vice versa. Maybe you just took the picture really quick. And so it's got some pros and cons. Some of the pros are you can set the shutter speed and the ISO, which is kind of fancy. Like you do that with fancier cameras. There's no autofocus. It has a nice touchscreen. Apparently, this is after I looked at some of the reviews that are already out there. And you can use some software to do some other stuff that it comes with. What it doesn't have a good one is the viewfinder's kind of, even though it's a touch screen and all that kind of stuff, it's very pixelated. It's not very clear, and apparently it doesn't take very good pictures on low light. So, from my guesstimation and from the guesstimation of some other much more smarter peoples out there, this is kind of it's not a finished product. It's something like the beginning of technology. A lot of one of the reviewers that I watched said that this isn't necessarily an entire product. This might be like an addition. Like the technology could go into something. Maybe it can go into a fancier, like a DSLR, or maybe even maybe in our cell phones. With that being said, Toshiba just came out with a new dual camera, or is going to, excuse me. I think in April. They have an estimated time to bring it out or something like that. Basically, it's got two cameras next to each other, and they're both 5 megapixel. And this allows them to record depth and images at the same time. And from what I'm gathering, and from what other news articles say, it's kind of like the Litro, where you can focus after the fact. So a quick picture, and you can go back and go, oh man, I wish I would have spent more time on that, and basically go in there and fix it. So yeah, April, it says it might be coming out according to Engadget, and I'll have the link in the show notes. All right. Also, I did a dash cam video, which is which people really enjoyed. And I know in some other countries that I think like everybody has one. It's like, in fact, like natural disasters and things are caught on these cameras because they're always on, and so they're catching things. Sometimes you just don't have time to carry your camera with you everywhere you go, but people are driving and they're getting these things on camera or whatever. Well, Garmin came out with a dash cam, and it looked pretty sweet. If you check this out on the picture here, it's kind of small and compact. The review that I did for the car cam or the driving cam was a little bit bulkier, but this one seems kind of compact. So it can be mounted to your windshield, can be videotaped. Video can be, WVGA, which I'm not familiar with that, 720p, 1080p. It's got a little 2.3 inch display. It's got a built-in microphone, so it can hear things going on when you're driving. Micro SD slot, a GPS receiver, and what I guess that allows it to do is have a timestamp when I guess in anticipation for maybe like an accident happening, and geotagging. Where were you at? I'm assuming that's what that is. And what was the other thing I think they told me, or excuse me, I heard them say, is that accident investigators would really dig this because you will know where the accident took place, maybe even how fast the guy was driving. Also, they have settings on it to where it'll turn on when the car starts, and literally nonstop videotape and loop. So it'll loop over the previous old video. And also, I believe I heard someone say in another review that if there is some sort of sudden stop or impact, it'll actually stop and save the video during that time frame, and then continue videotaping because they are assuming that video might be important, so they save it. What else do we have on the agenda here? We have the Alcatel solar phone. I know that charging a phone can kind of be inconvenient. I mean, there are outlets everywhere in this world, right? But I think the technology itself, even if the phone, I mean, and these phones are Alcatel solar phone, basically charges through the screen. You put it out in the window or in the sunlight, and it starts charging. Apparently, this isn't a finished product, but I think that the technology itself could, it could be like, I don't know, I can even maybe envision like a hybrid phone, like, maybe when you're out and about, you could be charging, and maybe not charging at all. Maybe it doesn't do all that, but like a secondary, like a backup device. Like, all right, well, I don't have any outlets around here. It is a sunny day. Maybe I'll peek this off a little bit and, whatever it can do, even if it doesn't exclusively do it. But I think what they're doing here is they're trying to maybe push this out to developing countries for them. But like I said, it's not polished yet, and but I just think that alone was pretty good. And apparently, the technology is actually in the glass of the phone. The whatever it is, that's where the solar part is, and that's where it charges at the phone. So, anyways, great product. Hopefully I can see in something else, or at least the technology take that and put it into, an iPhone or something else to, make them even more fancier. Especially for private investigators. I mean, gosh, we're not always near an outlet. We might be, I can tell you a story where I was in the woods for at least like 7 or 8 hours, and it was painful. It was painful. But meanwhile, you might be browsing on your phone during that time, or maybe even on a phone call or whatever, but you're going to want another way to charge if you're not near your car to charge or anything like that. And last is something I saw on twit.tv. They were reviewing some of the new things at CES, which is Consumer Electronics Show. That's what it is. And apparently it's evolved throughout the years. And I guess it used to only involve computers, and now it's, just everything's cool. Everything's computers now. But it was this car. It's from Ello Motors. That's ELLO Motors. And it's this 3-wheel car, 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back. and it's a one-seater. Though I did see pictures with a little itty bitty seat in the back, so I don't know. I don't even know if somebody could fit in there. I don't even know if I could fit because I'm a big guy in the main seat, but it has one door. And so here's the cool thing about this. This car gets 84 miles to the gallon. It's expected to get a 5-star crash rating. Like I said, 3 wheels. One door, even though it started off with 2, I guess the investors didn't want that. But here's the kicker. This is where it makes me want to get one. They're going to sell it for $6,800. That's right, $6,800. If this was like a mainstream car, because cars are getting smaller nowadays. You got the Mini and the Fiat, which I could barely fit in that car. I don't know how they're even selling that car, to be honest with you. But they're getting smaller. You got the hybrids, you got the Prius, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for, you got the smart car, right? I mean, you could barely fit 2 people in there. And so, well, first of all, if this could be used as a surveillance vehicle, if this was like a mainstream car, I could totally envision myself in there, tinting myself out in there. And safety wise, I did a little further review after I saw this initial showing of this on twit.tv, and some of the people were saying, well, one of the reasons why it might get a 5-star crash rating is because it might be listed as like a motorcycle. So you may be required to wear a helmet within your car, and they think that might keep it from actually going to market because that might be a prerequisite of it. And so, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, if that's the case, but they think that might be a holdup. Like people can't envision themselves wearing a helmet inside of a car, but who knows? So that's going to do it. This car is expected to go to be produced in 2015. But as for this show is going to be over right now. So I want to thank you guys for listening to the inaugural, the beginning, the first day of the Tech News Tuesdays for private investigators. I'm kind of excited about this because I like gadgets. I mean, I'm not a total gadget freak, but I like to see kind of cool things come out, even though I might not be able to afford them all. So, and also, before we go, I just purchased a Uniden Trunk Tracker 3. It's a police scanner, and it's more particularly gets a special kind of frequency to where it can pick up the not normal frequencies. Anyways, long story short, I'm having a hell of a time programming this thing. If one of my listeners is a scanner aficionado, let me know. I would love to know how to program this thing so I can enjoy it as much as everybody else in the world is enjoying their scanners. But that's about it. Thank you for listening. You can go to the Private Investigator Advice website at privateinvestigatoradvicehq.com. That's where you can go and easily find this video. It'll take you to YouTube and take you right to the videos. This will be listed under the podcast area. And if you want to go through YouTube to search for it, it's just going to be in the Private Investigator Advice. Just search that and it'll take you right there. This episode is also brought to you by Investigator Marketing. They have a deal for the month of January, 15% off a 5-page or more website. So basically you're getting a full-fledged website and you're going to get 15% off of that. Make sure you say you heard it from here, the Private Investigator Advice podcast, and Ruben over there and his team will take care of you, get you listed, get you a fancy website, get customers in your door. And hey, that's how we're finding everybody. How would you have found me? You found me through a website, right? You would have never heard of me before that. It's website. You got to get listed. You got to be found. Okay. So if you're interested in that, again, 15% off, 15, and he'll take care of you. So other than that, take care. I will see you guys later.